All right. So welcome to the Sixth List. We got Allizae in the building. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So for the people that don't know what you do, can you explain to the people what you do?
I do it all. Basically, I'm a sexpert. I'm a rapper. I'm a vlogger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a vixen model. Like I kind of summed it up by saying I do it all. I do a little bit of porn as well, so that's maybe a little bit unusual for some of you to hear. I just do my way of doing my level of porn. So
okay, yeah. So let's jump into that. So like you do porn. So what do you mean by your level of porn? Like, can you jump into that a little bit?
Well, a lot of people have a misconception of what porn is or pornography, and think that it's just the traditional aggressive, hardcore. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Okay, hardcore fucking and all that bullshit. Well, it's not. I cater to fetishes, and I do a lot of, intriguing sexual acts and request videos or request content or requested acts, whatever. So that's what I would say my level of, because people think they're going to see my vagina getting pounded like crazy, and that's not what I really put out there like crazy.
Yeah, okay, I get that. So like your IG is filled with seductive pictures and you doing certain things with some fruits and all that things, right? So how did you get into the adult entertainment world? And like what was your first sexual encounter? Like, you know what I mean?
What?
Like, yeah.
First sexual encounter was a long damn time ago.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I'm just curious to see how you evolved.
First encounter, I would say, was probably before sex. It was more like a blowjob. I think that was like one of the first things that I initiated to do.
Okay.
And it just stuck. I'm a vet now. It's just been in me. But to answer your other question about where I started mostly in music.
Okay.
So getting that lyrical vibe, getting my lyrical juices flowing, creating pornographic music is what I've been accused of multiple times to the point where I've accepted it. I did a vlog about it. So yeah, my music is considered pornographic because it's, conveying it. It's a portrayal. It's descriptive and all of that good stuff. So it started with the music. It started with the ideas. I did a bit of provocative poetry as well. So in my writing skills, it's basically, it comes to me, I write it, and then I showcase it, whether it be lyrical, written, or rap, reggae, dancehall, whatever different forms of entertainment that I do. I just communicate that energy and information that I get when it comes to sexuality, and I just put it out there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you first discover that, this is kind of the area that you wanted to go to and explore?
It's a love-hate relationship. I mean, when I was very young, it's when I started writing, I started thinking about, okay, I'm really good at poetry, but then rap made me feel so unfiltered. So my inspirations came from Lil' Kim, a lot of male-dominated, artists, because there's an aggressive way that a lot of men tend to convey sexuality. So for me, I'm also a feminist. So I wanted to actually challenge the status quo and dictate sexuality from a female perspective, because I feel it personally is always done by a male, and it tends to lose that touch of women like me that are more presented as hypersexual or as dominance. We get kind of, subdued with all of that. So I basically wanted to dictate female sexuality from a female perspective. And I always pay homage to the females that came before me that do that. So like I said, Lil' Kim's a very strong one. And I'm also very big into Vybz Kartel.
Big up Vybz Kartel.
And with literature, I really liked Eric Jerome Dickey. And I like Sister Souljah. And I feel like those authors really captured the Black experience of, being young and growing up and being introduced to sexuality. So those things helped inspire me to use my writing skills as a strength, and also the mentality behind it of being so creative and being able to talk about sex in so many ways. And yeah.
I get that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you grew up in Scarborough. Yeah, you're half Jamaican, half Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Both cultures super strict, but Ghanaian culture is
super strict.
The Ghanaian the Ghanaian fathers, it's all about the education and you know what I mean. So, how was it growing up with those two roots, Jamaican and the Ghanaian side?
Well, my parents weren't typical, as you could see. They met together and they had me, right, and other siblings. But the way I look at it is that they were both rebels, because they both kind of left their cultural homes and came, to Canada and found each other and basically were rebels against their cultures. And I don't know, that kind of stuff is a little bit repressed and, shunned down upon. And that's why you kind of have to do what you do. And that's why I feel like I have the strength to kind of do what I do without giving two flying shits sometimes about what people feel like. And, it's a diverse household, and it just made me feel more connected to culture and wanting to know more about it. So at times in my content you'll see on YouTube, I'll feel more Jamaican, and I'll do some dance hall music. I'll do some Jamaican accents and stuff like that. And at the same time, I'll feel more culturally connected to my Ghanaian side. Sometimes I'll do some comedies, or I'll use the accent. And I also have names for those personalities. So I have Afrizae, so that's for the African side. And then I have like Alphazae, which is my aggressive kind of Jamaican side. And then I have Allizae, which is the rapper, the open-minded. So I have a bit of a Trinity complex.
Nice. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. So like growing up, you're best friends with like Lily Singh. She's a like popular YouTuber, right?
She was like a best friend of mine in like grade 8, and like we went to the same elementary school together. So I mean, high school really made me split from a lot of my friends. So like I kind of had to find my own zone and stuff. But like, yeah, she's made it. She's Superwoman, also known as that. She's a millionaire, you know, she's living in the States and stuff. So we haven't kept in contact or communication for years.
Okay.
So it just goes to show that like just being from like Scarborough or Malvern, for instance, we are talented people, and we can definitely, you know, get where we need to go. It's just about the exposure and that the lane that we choose to take.
Facts. So, you know, staying in the whole, you know, adult entertainment world.
You don't want to leave that, eh?
No. We can leave it, but you know, let's just staying in that world for now. You know, on your YouTube video, you know, the 11 questions that you had, or 11 things you didn't know about yourself.
Yeah.
One of the things you said was that you know, you used to be a stripper, basically.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that experience and like, yeah.
Yeah, when I was younger, actually a while ago, I was a stripper.
Yeah.
Wasn't for that long. It was just honestly to make some extra money. So I don't have a Cardi B story. Nah, I didn't have my ass done or my breasts or anything. I was all natural, and it was like very basic for me. So I did it for like a few months and stuff. And yeah, it kind of introduced me to like adult entertainment from that lens. But like I still already had my own like niche that I wanted to kind of hit. Yeah.
So like, how did you know like your niche that you wanted to hit? Like, how did you define that?
It makes me comfortable. I mean, like sexuality is something that's a part of all of us, whether we do it behind closed doors or in the public eye. And for me, I've always gravitated to it lyrically, writing, just even in my own personal sex life. It's just something that's always been heightened for me. So therefore, I feel like I am a hypersexual being. And how people take to me. A lot of people look at me and they just see sex. So I've been told that, so I can't like deny it, right?
Yeah. So was that like always a part of your life, even like when you were younger and growing up, or like when did that part of you like develop?
It was very young. I mean, like everybody has sexual experiences or that awakening of sexuality. So for me, I was pretty young, and I just knew that sex was something that I would really enjoy or just really be into. Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I seen like on your Insta stories, we're talking about Insta stories off camera, right? Yeah. There's a Insta story, a very interesting Insta story that I seen of you that you posted, and like you're there like singing in a car, and then like you had the I think what type of flavored condom were you had? You had a flavored
it was like
condom,
a
banana flavored condom. Yeah. So talk to me about those videos. Like, where do those videos live?
They live where they lie.
Yeah.
And that's on Pornhub for now.
Okay.
So as you know, like I do have a private members area where people have to pay to get access, and that's what I've created aside from my public platform, which YouTube only allows so much content. So for me as a sexpert, I create tutorial videos, I create all kinds of content. Yeah. But a lot of my content is repressed on social open platforms. So I have to create another area where my fans and people that are viewers that really love what I do can see me and get a little bit more. So for me doing a tutorial on, for instance, how to suck dick, people will like that, but then there actually might be people who want that experience or who want to see me capture that in a video. And therefore, that's why I created my members area, which is on my own website, ladyzae.com. And before that, it was allizaeraps.com, where I have an area allocated for that kind of content where people can be intrigued and, you know, jerk off or whatever their experience is with that extra adult content there, aside from just seeing me just demonstrate what it is. Some people want to see the real, how I do what I do. So I created that space for them to know that, okay, it's real. Like, she knows what she's doing. She's not just telling us on a glass dildo or on a toy or a prop. She does it on real people. And yeah.
I have so many questions.
But there's so many people that hit me up and think that, no, like I'm very much in control of what I do. And I pick and choose who I want to fucks with. So there is no, I'm just going to get a DM and you're just going to get, oh, I just got the role. No, I'm very particular, and I don't really like, you know, doing stuff with people that I personally know, because it gets complicated.
Yeah,
so I'm very selective with what I do.
For sure. So how did you become like a sex expert, and then like how did you like get the confidence to say, hey, like I'm really good at like giving head, so I'm gonna start giving tutorials? Like how did that process?
Experience, wisdom, knowledge, time, all these things. I was always really good. Head is one of the first sexual acts I said I really started doing, and before vaginal sex, and oral sex has just been something that I feel is a very gratifying experience. It gives me control. Because if I'm giving head to a guy, I have the power. I'm in control of, how he responds to me, how engaged I am with the process. And it's a bit, very passionate because it's something that goes like in your mouth. You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel that I'm really good at it, not just because I have a tongue ring or anything like that, but because like I practice until I got it perfect, to the point where I know what to do. I know how to do it, and people love what I do.
Interesting.
Watching, feeling, hearing about it, it's to the point where I can give tips and tricks, and the proof is in the pudding. I have a video on worldstarhiphop.com, and it's about 3 tips on how to suck your man's dick really good. And that video has over 1 million, going on 2 million views. People love it. If you check the comments, I've opened up a lot of people's minds. I've given insight on how to deal with the penis, giving it a name, how to do the strokes, corkscrew move, like different things. So I make sex fun. So that's what my tutorials provide, is looking at sexuality in a fun lens, not necessarily like textbook or like a healthcare professional telling you how to do it and calling it all the technical names. I use very realistic language when I'm talking about stuff.
Okay, that's cool. So you have a degree in culture and expression, right? And you also have a diploma in community and justice services. Why was it important for you to pursue post-secondary education?
I felt that I could do it, and I felt that I was curious about certain areas of life that I may not get the opportunity to just explore on a regular basis. So I went to college for community and justice services with the hopes of actually trying to be a correctional officer and trying to do like more community oriented stuff. But I realized that living in Scarborough and living around underprivileged people, a lot of the times you're sometimes exposed to these things naturally. So I felt that it would have been a bit of an overdose for me to want to live, to actually live in an environment where I'm around the same people that would actually be potential clients or people that I'm helping and working with. So I decided that I'm too creative and that I would have probably been bored. I was told that I was too pretty to be a correctional officer and that I'd get raped and all these things. Wow. So a lot of people deterred, my skill set. And then it's like, okay, I took some time. I was working, doing some other stuff. And then I decided to go to university and do culture and expression, which is what I felt was something that would enlighten me.
Can you explain like what culture and expression is?
Oh my gosh, I had to write it down because it's very vague and it's very open-minded. And I actually have a video on my channel that I actually talk about in a kind of parody way about my diploma and degree. Yeah. So it's called, what is it called again? I have my master's degree in sex education. So instead of saying like a diploma, I call it a diploma, and I use like very fun language, kind of mocking the degrees that are supposed to be used for something else and how it actually enhances my social media presence and content that I put out, and how like I'm using my degree and diploma for these types of things that I'm doing entertainment wise. So
yeah, because it seems like a very interesting mix, right? Because like you're very intelligent, and I can get that from our conversation. But then also like, you're very open and sexual as well, right? So is there ever like a clash between the two, or is it just kind of like does one help the other?
I think it helps because I think a lot of people are used to just a pretty scatterbrain and a girl that maybe is just down to like suck dick or fuck, and she's just like, yeah, I just love it, and she just doesn't sound like she has substance, and that's what I have. Yeah, I'm very educated, so for me, I think it heightens my ability to know how to behave and when and where to portray the sexuality that I want, because I have a personal life too. I have other things that I do, so being a professional is very important to me. Being well spoken, and it's good for business. And as being an entrepreneur and being, self-employed and having to do things for myself, I need to be able to communicate to all levels and all bodies of people, whether they're just maybe just a regular person or somebody that I'm doing something with or somebody that's actually going to be, supporting my craft. Right. I need to be able to speak in a way where they understand. The only thing bad about how I speak is that I have to dumb it down sometimes because I'm too sometimes intellectually charged for some people. So I have to kind of like bring it down a notch and try to be as colloquial, which means as basic spoken as possible.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Okay, so let's move on to something else over here now. Let me see. Kind of lost my place here now. Okay, yeah. So, you know, we covered that you do like adult videos. You know, we cover your degree, but you also rap as well.
Yeah, I do.
Can you talk about that and like what inspired you to start rapping?
When I was younger, like in high school, I started doing, like I said, poetry and rap at the same time. So rap was like almost the alter ego to poetry to allow me to feel free-spirited and just say words that just came off the top and be able to write them as I felt. Whereas I do the same with poetry and stuff because it's just using, you know, metaphorical language or English words. Whereas rap is kind of like you're using swear words. You're just able to say how you want to say it, and just the passion oriented with it makes me just feel like more in control of exactly how I want to articulate what I'm saying without having to filter. Instead of saying, you know, pussy, ass, dick, bitch, nigga, fuck, all that. Yeah. It's like, you know, I have to say this guy or this girl or whatever. So it's just, I'm so versatile mentally that I can do it. It's just, you know, with rap, I just love being able to express myself as is. Raw, unfiltered, and I'm a lyricist. So I'm a really strong writer. So therefore you can hear in my lyrics and my words that it's very articulate, it's very well planned out and very well thought through, and there's always rhyme, and I try to keep that trend consistent.
Yeah, so like in your raps, you're talking about like, you know, like sucking guys' dicks and all this stuff, right?
I have a track called Sucking
Guys'
Dick.
I know, I seen that. So like being a sexpert, as you call it, right? What are your favorite things to do sexually? Like we established that, you know, you love giving head and all that stuff, right? And you have tutorials, but what are some other things that you enjoy doing sexually?
It really is depending on the person. If there's passion with an individual, then the sex will definitely be more heightened and be more enthusiastic. If it is just for a Pornhub, for instance, or if it's just something where there's no love involved or no real emotion or feeling and it's just for the sake of, or it's something that's done for business, then, you know, I'll keep it to what I'm comfortable doing. Okay. Right? So when it comes to the real passion with me, like somebody has to be real special for me to open up literally and showcase that passion and that energy that I possess, because there's a lot there. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, so you're a huge Harry Potter fan, right?
I've been from a long time ago. I mean, I love the whole world of wizardry and like just magic and all that stuff. So I felt that Harry Potter really just did it for me to make me feel like kind of connected to that kind of world and make me like just believe that, you know, thinking things, you can manifest things, and that's something that we do in real life. So 100%. When you add a little bit of magic into it, it just makes it fun. It makes you feel like you have control. Would you ever do like you know, like a themed video on your website, like maybe like a Harry Potter theme, like with role play and like cosplay and all that stuff and dressing up? And I could definitely be a Hermione and dress up. But I might do like maybe a Harry Potter thing. I like the whole lightning bolt. I like the whole being, you know, the main character that's, you know, in control and that is popular and that everybody knows, household name. So I don't know what I would do. I'd have to really think it through and then create something. I see. So you brought some props with you today, you said? I did. Like I said, I have music. So I've done 2 mixtapes. Nice. And then I have unofficial music that I have out there, but that's just not formulated into a CD. So my first mixtape, which is called Fatality. Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah. I like that. So it's basically fetish reality. So this was an explicit, like, overtly, like, sexual music. I mean, if you look at the titles, I Gotta Have You, Give It To Me, I Got What You Want, Suck a Nigga's Dick remix featuring a Jamaican artist called Canaro Hype. Play With My Pussy. That video actually got on Toronto Rappers. So that was big up Toronto Rappers. A pretty big deal for me to be on Toronto Rappers with that. Shout out Nemesis for shooting that video. Shout out Nem. I Got a Fat Pussy, Fuck 2 Niggas, Tongue Ring Tricks, Allizae, and Come Test Me. So those 11 tracks are on the first mixtape. It's on SoundCloud and stuff, so you guys can pre that. And most recently I have The Bad Bitch Chronicles Volume 1. It's a bit more trappy. It's a bit more, I guess, lyrically crafted in the sense where I'm talking about more things other than predominantly sex, which was what the first mixtape's focus was. So this was just reintroducing me again because I took like, you know, a little bit of time off and then I came back. And yeah, so these 2 mixtapes are here. They're online. I'm still selling The Bad Bitch Chronicles $5. So I still have some copies left over, but like I've been working on a lot of different music, recent music, more hip hop flows, more faster flows. So I have a track called Recreated Me, and it's all about recreating my flow, recreating my lyrical content, my speed, my delivery, and all of that. So it was inspired by different things. And, you know, I'm doing different things right now in the city and different things content wise. So everything kind of has to mesh with what I do, and I convey that in the music as well.
So, like, you know, being a rapper from Toronto, like, the Toronto hip-hop scene's on fire right now. There's, like, tons of rappers out here, like, doing their thing.
There's too much.
Yeah. So, like, who are some of your favorite Toronto rappers that you listen to?
Oh, my gosh. Rest in peace, Smoke Dogg. I didn't listen to too much of his music, but there were certain songs that I was really feeling. Those guys from CLE, Cleveland.
Yeah, CLE,
I think that track is dope. And for me, like, maybe it's more of a song thing. I think I'm not really feeling too many rappers where I can call out names consistently, but there's certain songs that, you know, I gravitate to.
Yeah.
You know, Drake, can't forget that. Nav, like maybe the bigger names. I'm not really always exposed to some of, you know, the local people or small time people or whatever, whatever anybody's labeled or classified as. But like, I mean, there's certain music that I do enjoy. Don't forget, I'm into dancehall too.
Yes.
So I do dancehall as well.
Nice.
And so I have 2 songs out right now, Can't Handle Me and Boss Anthem. So those are really good, strong dancehall songs that you guys can listen to and enjoy. But for the music, yeah, I should be dropping a video pretty soon.
Dope.
I'm always working on musical projects. And yeah, I have a new concept that I think I might be working on. I created something. Just going to unveil it. It's like a bib for adults and girls that suck dick. It's called Lick a Drip.
Interesting.
So basically, like when I suck dick, it gets messy and sloppy. You know, it might get all over your mouth and get all over your clothes. But if you have a lick a drip, you're always reminded to lick that drip. You know what I mean? To help not make such a mess. And, you know, I got my new logo here with the tongue ring in it. So I'm going to be updating that very soon on my profiles. But I think it's fun. I think that guys can give it to their girls in reference to me, or just people can just feel inspired of, you know, having something to protect their clothing, because you never know when you're going to suck a dick, right? Always have your bib, and just make sure you keep it, you know, sloppy if the guy likes it, and you have something to catch it. So if you're not able to lick that drip, literally, at least the bib will catch all that mess and all that spit and all that water, whatever. If you follow my cool water treatments and all the other good stuff I do, you can get that. So I think lick a drip is a good concept. I think it might be grounds for a new song that I might want to work on very soon. And yeah, I think it's cool. So lick a drip.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, it's pretty innovative. So that's like a real world solution right there, right?
It is, because I mean, like sometimes you want to get messy and you want to get sloppy, you want to get dirty, and it's fine. It's just a matter of sometimes you just, like I'm wearing a white shirt right now. If I were to do anything, it would be, you know, messy. But if I'm wearing my lick a drip bib, you know what I mean? Then at least it's capturing all that mess. And I mean, I'm less likely to look as sloppy or dirty as if I was given a real nasty, like, blowjob and all that good stuff, right? Get some coverage. So
yeah, so let's talk about the lick a drip and the drip and the sloppiness.
It sound like a States thing? It sounds like Migos, like lick a drip.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
It sounds like pretty cool.
It does sound pretty cool. Let's talk about that. So lick a drip and head and all that stuff and sloppiness and you know what I mean? So what defines good head? Technique.
I even think that I might start doing like even maybe like a competition or something, or maybe if you guys are having something where I could do like a demonstration or something. I don't know. It's a matter of evaluating the experience with sometimes how the girl looks, you know, the POV, the point of view. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of guys like to have a girl below them when they're getting their dick sucked. So it's a matter of how does she look? It's about, does she know what she's doing? Is she using too much teeth? Is she licking it properly? Is she, you know, licking the drip or whatever? Is she making it wet? Is she, you know, biting it? Depending on the person, right? Because I get all kind of requests. Some people like their dick, you know, bitten. Some people don't, right? And some people like you to stroke a certain way, and some people don't want you to do certain things. So it's really about how responsive is that person to you. And in my tutorial video, I mean, I mentioned things like giving the dick a name, making it personalized, making not just the man that you're involving yourself with feel like somebody, but giving his dick a, you know, personification, allowing it to feel like it's somebody as well, and showing the dick a little bit of love, and, you know, getting engaged in that experience of head and getting lost from everything else that's around you, taking that control. So a lot of guys might evaluate a girl's head experience based on if she deep throats and, you know, gag reflex and all that crap. So it's really just a matter of, does she know what she's doing going into it? Some girls don't open their jaws.
Okay, whoa, okay. This is very advanced for me right now, okay? You're talking about sucking dick and deep throat. I thought it was the same thing. I didn't know there's a difference.
Sucking, you just put something in your mouth. You suck candy, right? Deep throat is when it goes like lower into your throat, right? And then there's that gag, like that whole like hiccup thing, right? That's the whole gag reflex of the discomfort. And, you know, some guys really want to like go all the way back there.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I have a long neck. I know you want to.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I never really thought of it like that. I don't know. Like, to be honest, like, when I get head, it's kind of just like,
it's just head. It's never like probably that.
There's only one time I've had. There's only one time I've had like really exceptional head, and I was blown away, like literally.
And that's what you'll see in my videos. I mean, if you look on Pornhub, it's pornhub.com/users/Allizae. I'm actually giving head to live, you know, people that have been selected. And the thing is to make it engaging, having a little bit of conversation. Sometimes talking with it in your mouth. Sometimes, you know what I mean, like doing a certain aggressive stroke. And sometimes I've done really aggressive strokes where I've had, you know, a fan of mine actually download my video and calculate how fast I was actually jerking, which was really fun.
Interesting. To
know that people, you know, go that extra mile. So that was pretty interesting. Having, you know, fluid in your mouth. You know, some people like you to spit on it. Some people like you to, you know, I like to use water because it's neutral and it'll just dry up, you know, instead of using like Coke or just whatever drink or beverage that might be sugary, like a pop or whatever. Like, I think water is the cleanest thing you can use. And it's just the technique I bring to it. It's just I make it like a really like cool experience. You know, I make it fun. I make it not just head sucking dick. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference with that excitement and that engagement and where you're doing it, how you're doing it, how long you're doing it.
Facts.
And you know what I mean? It's also my personality. Like I'm a very like kind of like enthusiastic individual. And like my energy is very strong. So like with me, anybody would feel like that kind of like, whoa, okay. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like I want to do it with her because I make it like, I'm a very engaging person and I'm very like easy to like kind of feel.
Interesting.
Right? So yeah, I don't know. It's sad. It's sad if, you know, guys have girlfriends and they're not doing it and then they'd want to come to me or they'd want to go to another girl who would do it. I do these tutorials because I'd rather the relationship not end, get inspiration, you know, and, you know, sometimes I think I might even consider joining this situation to teach firsthand for the female to learn how to do it because it's important. Yeah.
So in home like sessions, you just go visit, like, you know what I mean?
That's a possibility, but even in like an establishment, like I'm also doing some work with Oasis. It's an adult sex club downtown Toronto. So I'm involved with them. We have an arrangement going on. So, you know, I might be doing live events there, you know. So it's about really, aside from my videos and stuff, getting that real live aura experience for me. Like guaranteed you'll feel what I present and what I have to offer. So that's in the works.
Nice. Okay. So let's stop talking about all this stuff now. I know, you know, I have so many questions, you know what I mean? I never knew like giving head was so technical and intricate and like just certain things. I don't know. I don't think about those things obviously, right? But
well, that's the thing. I cater to fetishes, right? So for some people, giving head or receiving it is a big deal. If you were asking women about receiving oral sex, like they would have so many things to say to you about how a guy would do it. So like I said, I'm dictating the sexuality because a lot of guys would be like, yeah, I do this, that. Well, like I said, with head, even though I'm giving it, it's like I'm still dictating it. A guy's just not going to be like, yo, I'm getting head from it. No, it's like I'm giving you head. You know what I mean? So that's where the control comes in, is that I'm doing it. And I'm dictating how I'm going to do it. And I have the formula that works. And I have the tips and tricks and hand gestures and strokes, the tongue ring as an additive. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything is like a combination of what I bring into it. And it's just a little bit more easier to do sometimes than actual sex itself. right?
100%.
It's a little bit less messier.
100%. So yeah, okay. So we're talking about this whole interview. We're talking about you and giving head. But what do you like a guy like to do for you? Because like
it all depends on the guy. Honestly, there's some guys that can move me like with depth, and that I could just feel really passionate and feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with you. And there's some guys that you're just like, what the fuck am I doing with you? You know what I mean? Like I've dated both, and it's just like I've had a lot of like waste kind of mans, like fuck niggas and all that, and it's really annoying. And the sex really was never really great. Yeah, I've had a lot of like bad sex in my time, and I've had a lot of like bad experiences with guys sexually, where a lot of guys felt like I was like a nympho or that I was too aggressive. A lot of guys have like actually like felt like I was too sexually aggressive for them. Wow. And they felt like I wanted sex too much, and I found it strange. Like I understand it because I'm an alpha female, like I'm very demanding and I'm very much a certain way. It's just I realized they just didn't measure up to me. That's it. I need to have somebody like me or above, and a lot of the times it was somebody that was like below. Yeah, facts. And especially in bed, like sex is huge to me, and it's just like it's ever so much more disappointing when somebody knows what kind of woman I am already in advance, and it's like there's no secret. I live up to the hype. I live up to my lyrics. I live up to what I do. I live up to how I do it, and it's always disappointing to find guys that can't handle that or pretend or want the challenge of trying to keep up with me sexually and can't. Well, yeah, man. It's like it's depressing. It's like me wanting to go play basketball with LeBron James. It's not gonna happen. He's gonna dunk on me. You know what I mean? You already know that whole. You already know the levels there. Like he's already at a certain level, and you're here. Doesn't mean that you both don't love the sport. No, 100%. So me and other people, we like sex, or like I love it 100%. If I'm engaged with that person real intimately and emotionally connected. And it's just disappointment when they're not able to keep up, or they think that I want to have sex too much, and then I get shunned and all kind of shit. So it's really weird. Yeah, that is kind of weird. Years, it's bad sexual partners. Yeah, we just weren't compatible like that. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of dating and all that stuff, right? Toronto has like huge Jamaican influence, and you know what I mean. Bad man don't do certain things, right? Talking about eating pussy. That's my question. Do black men... Why are you shy to say it? No. I'm just saying. That was just, leading it up, leading you to the water. But you just went to the water because you're an alpha female, right? You're like, I don't need nobody leading me going in there. Yeah. But anyway, my question is, do black men eat pussy and lick booty? I'd say yeah. I've experienced people that have wanted to do both. I get requests all the time. Keep in mind, even if I'm not actually doing something with certain people, they request to do certain things of me. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's not even just black. It's just, I feel whoever's sexually open and feels they can be sexually open with another person. So any guy can be sexually open with me because of the type of person I am. Yeah. If it's a more stush or stuck-up girl, or somebody who's more inexperienced, they may not feel the confidence to bring it to her. Okay. So I do know people and speak to people that are in relationships or that, fuck other girls or whatever, and they're curious about how that experience would be with me. And as a sexpert, I become an advisor. So people come to me and ask me all kind of things. So if you look on my channel, I have a video about licking ass crack. And I give tips and tricks to that. Yeah. So, okay. I haven't licked ass, but I've created something where it's like, it's a tutorial on how the average person might want to approach it and how to safely do it without shit, hair, toilet paper, and all the other barriers that I created in that video. It's on YouTube, but it's like I made it fun, but it's also metaphorical on how to approach the idea of licking crack, right? Yeah, and this was a guy that actually licked pussy and stuff, but then advanced to wanting to lick crack. I don't know. He started at the bottom and then went to the top, which is most people's journey to success, right? Yeah. So he started down there and he wanted to go all the way up to the crack. So to each their own. He was happy seeing the video, but I mean, it was a request. Interesting. So yeah, Jamaican men especially, I mean, if you're talking about real Caribbean, they do suck pussy, and they do it with a girl that has to be meaningful to them, or they do it with a girl that they feel that's so compelled to do it with. I'm not against it. I mean, like, I don't go out there and say, yo, you have to do this. In majority of my relationships, I've never had that experience. Like, I dated a majority of Jamaican men. So Jamaican men are kind of my area of dating that I've been with for a very long time. So I understand that they don't really do that. But as an alpha, for me, I'm more of a giver regardless, right? So if somebody is given to me and I'm given to them, then it's a win. Yeah, it's a win-win. But if I'm always given in most of the situations and they're not willing to try something different or even please me, then I lose, which I have a lot of times by not getting certain things for me. I'm always doing. Oh, for sure. And most guys are not doing. So for years, I've been very unsatisfied sexually for a long time.
How does a sex expert like you get satisfied then? Like, how do you meet your match and be like, oh man, like...
Honestly, I have to get surprised. And I've been, you know, meeting different people from time to time, and every once in a while you meet somebody who kind of strikes you a certain way. And for me, I'm very much mentally stimulated, so it's not just the physical part. It's you have to kind of get to me mentally, which only a select few can. And like I said, as an alpha female, I need to have an alpha male or a superman, which is above and beyond, somebody who's on that advanced mental wave as well.
Facts.
So for me, stimulating me is usually a mental thing first, and then it becomes physical after.
Yeah, because that goes back to like, you know, your degrees and all that stuff and being well schooled. And
I'm not easily impressed. Trust me, I'm not. I've seen so much niggas. I've like talked to so many. I'm not on the nigga. I don't fuck with street niggas anymore. Yeah. And I have a song called that. Like I don't. So you will not catch me like fucking with a street nigga like that. Like I'm on a different level, and who I decides to personally fucks with is like on a different level too.
I get that. So, you know, I guess the audience might be wondering this question. Are you currently in a relationship? And if you are in a relationship, how do you go about like doing your videos and all that stuff, right? Like, does that ever cause an issue, or is it kind of just like whatever? Like when
everything
you get into
comes to understanding. If you don't understand or have anything mutually as an understanding, then things can't happen in a way that's going to make everybody happy.
Facts.
So to answer your question, I'm single but not available. I'll say that. Okay. I don't want to kiss and tell too much. It is what it is, you know? Facts. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so where can the people find you and like find your stuff? Like find, you know, if they're watching this interview, they're like, Allizae.
I'm joking.
You know, people put me up to Big Up Friday, aka Ricky Dred, he put me up on to you. He's like, yo, you gotta sit, you know, you gotta get Allizae in the building and talk to her. So yeah, you know, through my little connections and stuff. But
so word of mouth,
like word
of mouth. Speaking of
word of mouth, right? Yeah. There you go.
All about that mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. So where can the people find you?
People can find me online pretty much everywhere. You can Google me, Allizae, Allizae. Raps is really what I do musically, but also a part of my handle to try to search me a little bit more detailed. So YouTube, Allizae Raps. I have almost 12,000 subscribers and almost 3 million views on my videos. Nice. So you can definitely tune into that. I am something to watch in the public eye. Websites, I have 2. So AllizaeRaps.com, and then I have LadyZae.com. So I actually own my own porn site. So LadyZae.com is my domain, but I also own the entire porn site. So I have all these videos on there for your eye candy. And then you have to click in a certain area to locate me if you want to see my more explicit videos where I'm showing some vajayjay and I'm showing, you know, certain parts of me and doing things that Pornhub wouldn't get the privilege of fully getting out there. So I do request videos as well, so people can email me or Snapchat or discuss things with me about what they want to see. And that helps me also provide content that is, you know, viewer friendly. So like I said, I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, websites, LadyZae.com, AllizaeRaps.com. Yeah, social media is pretty consistent. So just look for those 2 names, like LadyZae, and look for Allizae Raps, and you'll find me.
Nice.
Twitter as well. I'm starting to get more active on there. So Allizae Raps for Twitter as well.
Nice. Yeah. That's cool. Actually, you know what? I have a couple more questions for you, actually. We're going to continue.
Ask away.
Yeah. So do black women enjoy anal sex?
They do, because I think black women have this imagery of having a big ass and that it should be fucked for some reason. And I don't know where that depiction comes from. I really don't. Because usually with ass, when you think about years ago, it was just the glorification of holding all that abundance, or when a guy's fucking a girl from the back, the ass just like flopping on his stuff. But now it becomes a phenomenon where a lot of black women are into anal. And I think that there's levels to anal too, because there's like penile penetration, which is like an actual penis or a sex toy in the ass. And then there's also the aphrodisiac of, let's just say, maybe a finger in the ass or something like that. So that can also be misconstrued as anal, and some people might actually overlook that as not anal. So slipping fingers in the ass is not a crime. I mean, it helps with the prostate gland, which is also an area of pleasure for men and women. So some guys actually like that too. I've been asked to do that to some guys. I haven't done it yet, but I've been asked by people to actually do that with them, and it's just messy stuff. I'd recommend using a glove for those of you that want to do that.
A glove for it, really? It's like really that bad? Like if you do that?
No, I'm just playing. It just depends on who it is, right? I mean, if you guys are clean folks, then, you know, you could just do your thing. But I mean, if you have to really worry about what's back there or the person's fingernails or where their hands are, then yeah, definitely. I'm always about promoting safe sex with protection. Yeah. In different forms. So yeah.
Interesting. Well, the last question. We're gonna end off on this question. In your opinion, does love at first sight exist?
I believe it because we fall in and out of love with different people, right? So I feel that it is a very realistic approach. Some people feel, and that first sight can be metaphorical with a day. You know what I mean? You could see somebody for the first time, you guys engage, talk, learn about your parents, families, where you guys are from, where you guys live, you know, family history or, you know, personal interest. And then you could kick off just like that. Really, it's really up to the individuals to continue that trend after. But you can fall in love with somebody real quick, and you can also hate people real quick. So you can just see somebody and hate them, but you can also see somebody and say, like, I could see myself with somebody like this. Because usually with relationships, it is a very visual thing first. Yeah. Unless you're doing something deliberate where you're just trying to communicate and then see the person after the fact. Exactly. Like pen pal or like, I don't even know how people do it. Right. Like a website or something. You know, people catfish all the time, but you can just sometimes build a chemistry by just talking to somebody and just, you know, having a conversation. Facts. So I do believe in love at first sight. It's far-fetched, but I mean, things don't last in life, right? So even if you do fall in love with somebody, you could easily fall out of love. So I don't think it's wrong to think that you can't fall in love with somebody and enjoy that love for 3 months or 8 months or however long it lasts, because people do fall in and out of love at different times. It doesn't mean that they like love and falling in love is different, right? Facts. So it all depends on how they're using the word and how they mean it. You can love somebody, and that could be like a life partner, but you can fall in love with a girl that just turns you on. You guys have crazy sex, and that's all it is. Right? Cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So we're just going to wrap it up right there, man. I like ending on love, man. You know what I mean? We talked about a lot of stuff. You know, we talked about, you know, all your adult entertainment stuff. We talked about you and going to school, you know, your upbringing and stuff like that as well. I think love and sex go together. Yeah, at the same time. And for me, I've done a lot of research with a lot of psychologists, the books that have been written and stuff like that. And where I've gotten my sources is that if your sex life and intimate life isn't right, then the rest of your life won't be. Because sex is a huge deal breaker for how we function as individuals. In a society that we flourish in, right? Yeah. We have stress, we have all these things, responsibilities. But if you're in a relationship, think about it. If you're having bad sex with your partner, you're going to translate that negative energy throughout your entire day. Yeah. Whether you have sex at night or not in the morning, right? And I've had it happen to me. If I've been telling you I've been having all this bad sex, then you have to know that there's definitely some damn depression, right? Yeah, exactly. But, you know, like that chemistry should be there. So if you and your partner or whoever you're having sex with isn't right, that stress will carry on. So just make sure your intimate life is healthy and it's strong and the communication is in existence, because communication is key. And that's all what I really present and convey in what I'm doing, how to do stuff. Because a lot of the times we weren't taught how to do stuff. And that's why, like for tutorials, I wasn't really shown a lot of stuff when I was growing up. I kind of experimented and was kind of thrown out there and tried things, trial and error. So if I can help the young generation, or if I can help like elder people or people that are maybe not in the sex game or in the loop of how to be more sexual than they are, then I would like to be that person, to nominate myself to be, you know, the sexpert that you turn to, that you can ask a question, that you can ask how to do whatever, you know, the how do I do this, or, you know, my girlfriend's not whatever, or I just don't feel like this anymore. Like I would be that person that you can talk to openly and honestly. And I'm not trying to take nobody's man. Hell no. I don't need it. What I want to do is advise people and give them a space where they can feel open and be who they really want to be when it comes to sexuality, and just get some perspective. Yeah. Well, that's dope, man. I think it's really needed, actually. It's a really good niche to have. I'm sure you have a lot on your mind that you just probably want to explore, and it doesn't mean that anything's going to happen. It's just a matter of being able to just safely, man, I can't get hard, or you know what I mean? Like I can't keep an erection for a certain time, or like I work so much that I don't know how. I've had people come to me with that, and there's very good reasons, because everything is about voids. Facts. And if we're working all the time, then there is no time for that girl. Exactly. But if you work and then you get a girl temporarily, whether you have to pay for access to one, or whether you try to like just set yourself up at a bar or make yourself vulnerable enough to be in a position where a girl might talk to you, or you could talk to one freely, these are the things you have to explore. There's always options for everything. 100%.
100%, man. Well, yo, this interview it's been interesting. Fruitful? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's been fruitful. I feel enlightened. I learned a lot about, like head and like different, like a lot of stuff. And
it's
then
called many things, like head, top, dome.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I'm learning a lot. And there's a difference between head and deep throat. I didn't know that.
Yeah, deep throat. Just think about it metaphorically. Like it's just eating more in your throat. Because you could just put something in your mouth and then you could just suck. But then it's like when you start opening up your jaw. And by the way, I had wisdom teeth removed, if you didn't know, guys. I had 6. So that makes me extra smart. So removing them didn't really hinder me. It actually just made my mouth open wider. So, yeah.
Interesting. You're talking about opening up your jaw. Like, I don't even, like, these terms I've never, like,
I've heard guys complain that girls don't open up their jaws enough. And I'm just like, they're just like, sucking it because there's no enthusiasm to suck. You have to be willing and passionate about what you're doing in a sexual act because it will come back and haunt you.
Yeah.
Right? We all know when guys talked about the girl that was the corpse. That just lied there, didn't make noise, didn't show no action or whatever, just there. It's like a guy will lose his erection or his whole interest just because she doesn't want to show that she wants to be a part of that whole act, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. So, yeah, man, this conversation's been dope. Thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, definitely probably have you back again for sure when a mixtape drops again. You know what I mean? And yeah,
or some other announcement.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out the bibs again. So where can the people get the bibs?
The liquor drip.
Or liquor drip.
Well, it's not for sale as yet. Like I said, I have mine because I mean, if I'm doing what I do, I gotta.
Yeah, you gotta be.
Clean,
yeah,
right?
100%.
And make sure I lick that drip.
Yeah.
Not get too messy. So for the liquor drip, I think I'm just gonna focus on promoting it online and stuff like that, getting people and getting feedback on who would actually be interested in something like it, if they like it, if they think it's cool, if they think it's stupid, whatever. I'm open to people's criticisms. I get it anyways.
Yeah.
So, I think it's cool. I think it might inspire a song. I think that having an adult form of protection. Everything is about protection for
100%,
me, keeping it clean, keeping it safe. So this is kind of like a protection for your clothing, for your breasts, for your upper body, right?
Yeah.
Lick a drip, man.
Lick a drip, man.
Keep it messy and sloppy, but just don't get it on yourself, right?
Facts. And the latest mixtape is, which one is that now?
The Bad Bitch, The Bad Bitch Chronicles Volume 1. So I have a lot of tracks off that. Some of the new music I have is called Don't Ask Me Why, Recreated Me, and I think there might be one more. I have a collaboration with this artist named Kyoya. It's called African Feng Shui, so nice. I performed that as well a few places, and that's the more intimate side of me. It's kind of like it's a love song, but I mean I'm still rapping, so it still has me very much in my vibe. Yeah, I might have some possible collaborations coming up, but I mean, as it stands right now, I do a lot of stuff solo because I'm a very strong writer and strong lyricist. So I just need the good beats, and I can keep giving the good tracks.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope, man. Well, yeah, like I said, man, it's a pleasure talking to you. Yeah, man, we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Cheers.